Hello, everybody. Your bipolar Care Bear is here. I have been missing from my page and my everything, really. Um, I think majority of us, when things get really intense in our lives, we tend to recede back, kind of go into like a little bit of hiding, or I don't know, I guess we go back to recharge our battery for a while. I think I've been charging my battery for about a year. So hopefully the battery's charged and I can come back on here and let you know how I'm doing and just check in, because I'd like to get back to making content. I haven't even really started a channel following yet, so luckily I'm making all of my mistakes and going MIA now, so that when I start making a lot of content and the content is hopefully good and people are checking in on how I'm doing and I get to keep up with them, it could be a lot of fun. You know, that's the whole reason why we make YouTube sometimes, is just to have fun. I definitely want to keep my career as a massage therapist and in the future become a chiropractor, but for now, YouTube's fun. I don't see YouTube being a career, but it's fun. I, like I said, want to check in. So over the last year, it has been a really interesting working environment for me. Being a massage therapist, there's hardly any work because the pandemic, and when there is work, it's poor quality work. And what I mean by that is, as a massage therapist, we're in the service industry. So when you work somewhere, let's say you're a waiter or you are in an environment where you need to be providing a specific service like a hairdresser, and the vibe just isn't right, then you normally up and leave. But it's hard in a pandemic to be so picky because you need work. So it's been a little up and down for me, at least when it comes to that. I definitely, in late 2021, around September, I took some big time off from working in general because I wasn't able to keep up with my schedule, and I really wasn't able to keep my mental health together to be a working individual. I would have panic attacks and depressive episodes, and even though in that time I was receiving medical care and medicine for my bipolar disorder, it wasn't the right mixture, it wasn't the right dose. I think even one of the medications just wasn't correct for me altogether. So that makes sense, right? It makes sense that I couldn't function and I wasn't functioning. So luckily I was able to go on temporary disability. The disability companies in California have been really lenient, so I was able to make survivable money during that time. And I think I took maybe 5 or 6 months off. Definitely not vacation. I kind of was crawling up the walls every day, working on the medication, seeing if the side effects were able to be handled so that I can be on the right medication. I got to give a shout out to the company Cerebral, an unsponsored shout out, but a shout out nonetheless, that they really helped. Specifically, my provider, her name is Crystal Stanton. I give her all the credit in the world for finding the right balance of medication, the right time to take them during the day, and the right mixture. So I think at this point we're good. I'm stable emotionally. I am not finding myself in depressive episodes or finding myself unable to get out of bed. I'm not having major mood swings or manic episodes either. And my sleep is, it's been the hard one, but my sleep is definitely made it through for sure. So the medication that they've put me on, so I can share my experience, is I take Seroquel and Lamictal, and I take those at 100 milligrams twice daily. so 200 milligrams total there. I take a medication called propranolol, which propranolol is for anxiety, 3 times a day. One in the very early morning, the afternoon, and in the evening. And then at night, I take something called prazosin, and I also take clonidine. Now, the interesting thing about medication sometimes is that the medication is prescribed for one thing, but you're taking it for another. So the clonidine and I believe also the propranolol are heart medicines. So heart rate medication, or I guess blood pressure medication. And they work magic for me because I guess my heart rate, when it spikes and pumps cortisol and adrenaline through my body, is the exact negative opposite of what I need it to. So that's my mixture, and that's actually been working really well. At at some point, they did have me on trazodone at night for 200 milligrams, but I needed to be on 5 medication instead of 6 because 5 is the max on the app that you can prescribe to a patient. So we took away the 6 and made it 5, and that's been great. Great so far. I think now that the medication has helped me to be able to have a clear head and a open mind instead of having such a difficult and panicked time just existing. Truly, I I would say that my my recent job that I left to come back to a really good place, I got hired around, I'd say, what was it, like April? Yeah, like I'd say like April or March. I got hired at a massage place in San Francisco. It was wonderful. I knew a lot of the people that worked there from my past, whether it was school or other companies. And the owner is an absolute dream to work with. But instead of staying, I actually was contacted for a different position in a different location, which was a chiropractor's office. But the chiropractor had, I don't know, I guess professional difficulties is the best way I can put it. They were really overwhelmed with their business, and because I want to become a chiropractor, I thought I could start working from them and help them with their business, help it work better, help it maneuver better. But there were so many issues with communication. I had issues with derogatory remarks and discrimination against me and my race, the size of my body, my disabilities, and there was plenty of times where I felt like I was getting unfairly paid, my hours weren't being logged correctly, and I wasn't getting overtime. Like I was staying, but I wasn't getting paid for it. So I'm actually in the situation right now where I have to take this individual to court and try to fight for all the money and all the issues that I had while I was with them. The interesting thing about all of that is while I've been on my medication, as much as those situations were stressful, yes, and they were upsetting, they never broke me, if that makes sense. They never took me out or truly affected me negatively where I wasn't a functioning individual through that stress. It wasn't a life threatening stress, which is probably why I was able to get through it. But the fact that I, a person who in my past would have crumbled and fallen apart and found many reasons very early on to discontinue the things that I enjoy in my life because of my stress, I was fine. I was so clear headed and so held together that I was able to leave there peacefully, return to the old job that I had previously got hired for in March because they made a really good impression for the month and a half that I was there. And I'm setting up court as we speak. So if I can attest to medication working and things getting better and myself feeling better, I think that's it. I think that's the pinnacle of medication can work, and I hope that people who are thinking about it do it. And it's like a repetitive, if you need it, go get it. If you want it, go get it. If you have a severe enough lifestyle or a severe enough mental state, go get it. And it's true, but I didn't start my meds until I was, 26. So it's late. That's a lot of trauma that stuck around in my body, that affected my body, that drove me to terrible coping mechanisms and or lack of. I put a lot of pressure on my partner to help take care of me when I was stressed, which put a lot of strain on our relationship, put a lot of strain on us being together. So I think medication is great. I think the app Cerebral is also great, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone and everyone, which is what I'm doing now. I have other things that went on that were more minor. Um, Another stressful thing that happened is I lost my car through non payment, repossession, if you will. And I also didn't lose it. Like I didn't lose my head. I didn't suffer more than I normally would when something stressful happened. Like, really. So, I mean, I can't say that I'm perfect and I have days where I don't get anxious and I don't get panicky and I don't flare up with symptoms, but truly, I feel like I'm getting well. I really think that I've taken really good care of myself and I'm getting better. And I kind of can't believe it. It's really, really crazy to think that it's working, that it's happening. But the fact that it is, I'd say my quality of life obviously has gotten better. My clear headedness, my ability to talk to others, my ability to hold down a job or be in a relationship and raise a child, all of those have improved. And I'm glad to say that I'm feeling well. I'm glad that things are going good. And I'm really excited to start making content and just start having fun. When I started the channel, I was like, I'm going to make makeup videos and I'm going to do review videos and I'm going to interact with people on a broader spectrum who are part of my mental health category, anyone with mental health issues, and also people who like cutesy kawaii stuff, like that kind of stuff is what I wanted to share and what I plan on sharing. Um, so yeah, I just am really grateful that I'm here and I'm well and that I didn't let everything tear me down and keep me down and end my life, which sometimes that happens to really good, kind people who just haven't found a way out, who haven't found a way to cope, to manage, to treat anything that they're suffering with. So if you see this and you feel like you need help, reach out to any doctor that's in your network or out of your network because you like them. Get on the apps, the BetterHelp and the Cerebral app, anything you can to take care of yourself. I really hope anyone who's watching this video will do that. Alrighty, everybody. So I feel like I'm done with this video. Thank you if you watched. I really hope that this connection was good, and if anybody pops back on my channel and sees this, that I'm back and I'll start posting soon. Alright, everybody.